Scratch the vinyl.
Scratch the vinyl.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Scratch the Vinyl. You made it back for another week, and we are no longer surprised that you did because guess what? We are Lincoln's and Nebraska's and really worldwide's favorite new music podcast. So we really appreciate everybody listening, and we are glad you made it back for this. And I'm telling you guys are going to be super glad, especially if you're from the area with the band that we have on. But I don't want to bring them on just yet. I've got to get to first off, addressing the fact that once again, Randy is not here. I hate it. My guy, the entertainment guy, Randy Wilson, is gone. I guess he quit the circus. He was the strongman for a while, and now he's joined I think it's like the volunteer Navy. Isn't that the thing that everybody got into in like the movies in the 80s or whatever? Like the Merchant Marines or something. I don't know, but he joined that, and he's doing great things in the world, saving Flipper from the net and all that stuff. So we hope to have Randy back soon, but who we do have is my co-host right now and one of my favorite ladies, honestly, aside from my wife and my mom and all the ladies in my life. She's right up there with them. It's Brooke Johnson. Brooke, welcome back.
Hello. Thank you. Glad to be here as always. How are you, Cain?
I'm doing good. You know, Brooke, summer is kicking butt right now. Like I'm enjoying it so much. I'm like a sad puppy. I just want fall to happen. I want Halloween to be here and get my pumpkin latte and all that stuff. But I'm enjoying the summer vibes. I've been doing cookouts. I got the Friday the 13th not Halloween shirt, Hawaiian shirt. See, I'm already thinking about Halloween. And I've even done some cookouts and all this stuff. But I got to tell you something, Brooke. I've been so excited. When you were on my show, the Cain Stevens Super Show, it's been well over a year. I mean, it's been quite a while. You and I talked about the art of making potato salad, and I was just in like my early role of trying to make potato salad and trying to mimic like all my elders and like how good they are at it. And you told me that you're pretty darn good at it, so I have to brag to you, Brooke. I made the big leagues finally on the 4th. Somebody couldn't make it or whatever. Somebody dropped out, and my mom actually passed the torch and asked me to make the potato salad. And I was told that it was as good as mom's or better. I don't know if they're just being nice to me, but I knocked it out of the park, Brooke.
I believe you. And you know what? They weren't just full of it, because usually when it comes to potato salad, they just won't say anything at all. They'll just be like, they're great. That was good. Yeah. Okay. And then, you kind of watch them and they pour some of it in the trash. They didn't mean to. I'm full. But so that's when you know for sure when they go back for seconds. And I bet they did. You probably didn't have any left over. But
no, they were putting it in like their little Tupperwares and actually taking it. So I didn't see him like feeding the dog or like the fat kid neighbor that sneaks underneath the table or something. I didn't see any of that.
Good. So I might need to get your recipe, because I like to venture out on different recipes, because I got my mother's and that's where I learned how to make it. And do you use a lot of mustard or do you do something different? Because there's different kinds. I'm not a big.
If we have to let the secret out, Brooke, I like to use a little bit of mustard, but when I make it for my mom likes to like pile the mustard on. So I like to cater it to my base, to my fans, and I try to make it for that. So I'm hoping to have more potato salad fans than I've ever had in music or anything else pretty soon.
I think that's pretty cool. I think you got something going. I can talk to all the grocery stores, see if they could sell Cain's potato salad. Well, we got something going on there now. We could have a scratch the vinyl potato salad contest and lasagna. Those go together, don't they?
I'll bet Randy makes a pretty mean potato salad. Randy's like a killer cook of everything. He would probably scoff at my recipe. Like I'm probably like the old lunch lady with like a cigarette in her mouth, and it's got like the secret ingredient is cigarette ash and toenails and all this type of thing.
Like in Waiting, you put a little bit of dandruff in there just as for the cheese. There's no cheese in potato salad. We could, I guess. I don't know.
Well, how's summer been going for you, Brooke?
It's been going really well, actually. It's been busy every weekend. Something is going on, or, just family stuff and going. I haven't really been out in the sun a whole lot, though. As you can tell, I'm kind of the same color as the white wall behind me. But there's that. I like to stay in with the air conditioning, I guess. But it's been a great time. A great summer. Can't complain.
You're just like my wife, Brooke. If you didn't have black on, it would be like being on a green screen and you would just completely disappear. It would be like the Cheshire cat. Like I would see your lips and your mouth moving, and that would be.
That's exactly what I feel like right now. Meow. I literally feel like you just see my shirt. I do have arms. Anyway, not to play drums with though. I'm not very good at that, or any instrument at that fact. I don't know. I'm just not good at those things. That's probably why I'm so white. Just stay up on like a fly. Well, flies aren't, whatever.
That was a great opportunity to our segue to people who do have arms and they are playing out there, and they even have a drummer who flails his arms and uses the old sticks and everything else. So we might as well bring them on right now. I got to say, Lincolnites and Nebraska people, really party people all over the world. I'm excited to have this band on because I've seen what they're doing as well. We've had the creme de la creme of bands on, and this is going to be no different. So you've heard them on the local bandwidth with their songs. You've heard them on KZUM with John Cruz and the Metal Manifesto. You've seen them playing everywhere. They've opened up for some pretty big bands. I mean, Faster Pussycat, Super Suckers, Texas Hippie Coalition. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. So without further ado, let's bring them on right now. We have the band. Drum roll, please. I can't do it with my mouth. Twisted Chrome. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Awesome. Well, it looks like we have all of the members on here, some in remote locations. They're the witness protection program and the band thing. And some of them most of them are right here together. So yeah, man, I'm excited to have you guys on. I know that I've seen you guys on different bills here in town. You guys have played at Gray's and really played the whole area, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We're whores when it comes to playing live. we'll play almost anywhere.
Which you have to be, right? I mean, did you guys do anything like any major shows around the 4th at all? Did you guys do anything like that?
Yeah, we played a street dance in Valentine, which we played last year too. But yeah, it's always fun out there.
And hopefully you kept hydrated because you're all here, right? You all survived. I can remember playing on truck beds at different shows, especially around the 4th. I can remember playing in some town, and we were on a truck bed, and it was just like a family brought us in. Like they paid us to do like this massive party, and they put us on a truck bed, and we played a lot of festivals and I shouldn't call them festivals, like street dances and stuff too. And man, though, how do you guys keep from falling over in the hot?
Well, actually, this year it wasn't too hot. I mean, we played from 9 to 2, so it was pretty dark by the time we got started. The setup was kind of crappy, but I mean, get enough water and beer in and you're fine.
And I'll say too, it really helps having a weatherman in the band too.
Oh yeah, sure.
Well, let's talk to the weatherman right now. Yeah.
Yeah, which one's the weatherman? I want to know which one it is here. I'm going to have to say it's the, let's see, the bass guitar. Is it Patrick?
It's not me.
Okay. Which one is it?
Certainly not the guy who brought it up.
Yeah, he might be onto something there.
I want to be chief meteorologist someday.
Maybe working towards that someday. We'll see.
Here we have this tornado that looks like a tornado.
We were talking about green screens earlier too. I mean, I'm in front of one pretty much every day at work. So
you can borrow the shirt, then you can do some fun stuff with it. I've always wanted to do that. Well, that's pretty badass. That's cool.
Tell the audience where we could see you doing the weather.
yes, you can find me on channel 13. The call sign's KHGI, and I'm out in Kearney, Nebraska. So NTV is where I work at. And I'm on the mornings from 5 to 7, and then also at our noon show as well.
I kind of want to go watch you do it sometime. That'd be kind of fun. I seriously want to. Yeah, I want to. Yeah, I would love to do that. That's another dream of mine is to be because I had a guy that my family member in Omaha, and he was a chief meteorologist.
Really?
And, yeah, and he really screwed up a couple times during Christmas, and we got in with the in-laws, and we were there way too long, and so he got made fun of a lot. But he was pretty spot on. So you're used to being in front of people. Well, I guess a camera. I guess, yeah. It's like the radio. You don't see everybody out there, but you know they're there. They're
right. It's definitely interesting talking to a camera at first, knowing there's probably, a million set of eyes just beyond the camera watching you.
Yes, and once you figure that out, then it's like, and it's gonna be really nice out today.
It is a little nerve-wracking when you first get into it, but once you get used to it, it becomes a lot easier. So
yeah, kind of like a band. I mean, that
right.
scared the crap out of me being up there. But once you guys just start going and vibing. So speaking of that, how did you guys all meet, and how did you guys get this band together? And I know we kind of introduced you. So we have Sticks. So Jeff, he's the drummer, obviously. Then Dylan, the lead guitar player. Dan, singer. Patrick, bass guitar, and Kyle, rhythm. So how did y'all find each other?
Oh boy.
Well, okay. So Jeff and I have known each other for many, many years, and we've been in bands together before. And he had gotten a hold of me one day and sent me this video of this guy playing guitar at University of Nebraska. And he was playing Eruption, Eddie Van Halen. And it was just so spot on and so perfect. I was like, I don't care what it is that we do, but we got to do something with this guy. So Jeff got a hold of him, and we got together and jammed a little bit. And then Patrick came along, and Dylan went to school with Kyle. So then he brought Kyle out, and it just, I don't know, it just clicked from there. It's weird because we're the age difference between a lot of us is so wide, and our musical tastes are so different, but for some reason it works.
I think our appreciation for music as a whole and making music really brings us together.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's really, when you mesh and you can find somebody that you work with, because you can tell on stage, like, or as a, fan or whatever watching, you can tell when people really can vibe together. And I think it's really cool that, how long have you guys been together? Have you guys been together for a couple of years?
August of 21?
Almost 4 years.
4 years.
It was August of 2021 when we first got together and jammed.
That's pretty cool. So how did you guys come up with the name?
so
A lot of texting.
Yeah, there's not a like a really good story behind that. It's just a name that I had left over from a different band that they decided to go with something else. So it was always in the back of my head, and we had been going back and forth for, I don't know, a week or two, just texting names back and forth, like, oh no, that sucks. No, that sucks. I don't like that one, And I just threw it out there, and finally it was just like, I don't care what we name it, just call it that and let's go. It's pretty much what it came down to. So no big ta-da, just there it is.
But I think it really fits our style of music. As far as the music we write about, that harder rock, metal, we are experimental, but I think the name Twisted Chrome really fits us as a band and the music we produce.
It fits us really well.
It's a kick-ass name. I mean, let's be honest, a lot of people just bend to the will of, oh, I hate naming my band, and they just go with whatever at some point. But you guys came up with a good name, man. What are some bad names that you guys have all probably been in other bands? Have you been in bands with horrible band names that you want to share?
Well,
I mean, I don't necessarily think they're bad, but they're just goofy. Like, Jeff and I were in a band called Wicked Reason and Mayhem 69. It's just random stuff that you throw together, like just just name it and go is what it comes down to, basically.
My sister and I, we want to have a band name. We make these little appetizers called ham wallets. And so, so I thought it'd be pretty badass. We really do, yeah, ham wallets. And then maybe even like Arby's could be our sponsor.
There you go.
For sure. We were first starting to think of a name. I was talking to my roommate at the time about like, oh yeah, we're trying to come up with a name. We can't think of anything. And he goes, I got one for you. Up on stage, what's up, Lincoln? We are wet beef. They didn't take to it quite as well as I did. I thought that was pretty solid.
You know what? From being from Nebraska, though, you could, if you're from Nebraska, wet beef is like perfect.
Exactly.
It'd be raw steak coming up next, you know, like bloody steak. Actually, that'd be better.
Don't forget about the opener baloney curtains, Brooke. I would love to be a
Baloney curtains. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you could have your bowling balls, you know, whatever your 3-hole sucker punch. I love coming up with band names. And we always talk about this too. Like if you're just in a conversation with somebody, you know, and you say something weird, I'm like, always note, that's a good band name. You know,
Yeah, yeah, we do that for sure.
That's pretty cool. I like that. So do you guys write music as well and like have your own stuff going on? Or do you do covers? I mean, is there a plethora of stuff? Or I know you have an album out. We can talk about that in a minute too. But like, yeah, what kind, like your music, let's talk about your music and how and what you play.
Well, I mean, obviously
Yes.
we do a lot of covers because that's kind of the bread and butter. You know, that's where the money comes from. Because there's not a whole lot of venues that are willing to pay for original music. But yeah, obviously we do write quite a bit. I mean, we have an entire album out. We are in the process of writing more, and we had just got done actually recording another single. And we're going back in September to record some more. So,
Do you all write, or is it like a collaboration, or do you each have like, hey, let's try this or let's do that? Like, I don't know, like the Weatherman. Do you have your own prompter that you write your own music and show it, or you know,
I sure wish.
somebody else, yeah, can write it and you just sing it. But yeah, who's kind of the main writer here, or are all of you?
it's totally a collaboration. I mean, there's no set
I agree, yeah.
process to writing for us. I mean, like Dylan will come in with a riff, or Kyle will come in with a riff and we'll build on it, or Patrick will have lyrics, or I'll have lyrics and we'll some kind of melody, you know, and we'll build on that, and everybody just throws in their 2 cents on it. So there's no set process, and there's no chief songwriter.
Throwing a snare drum here or there, you know.
You know, like drummers do.
Yeah.
Little tom here, a little snare there.
Well, obviously in a band setting, I mean, you guys, I mean, that's how the magic happens, right? I mean, like you said, one guy brings a riff, another guy brings this, and it all kind of builds off of everybody's ideas. I think Brooke is trying to get at, and I don't mean to ask the question for you, Brooke, is like, where does the magic happen? I mean, yeah, you bring the riff but like, where does it all come together in terms of like the lyric writing, just like the polishing of it? It's a band collaboration, but is there a main writer for a lot of this, let's say for the lyrics, because we're heavy on lyrics as fans?
Patrick was actually pretty good on lyrics, and so is Dan.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple of songs where Dylan has come in with the entire song, the lyrics and the music itself too. So, and then I play around with melody a little bit and stuff, you know, and Patrick is kind of a poet. So he writes these long sonnets of lyrics, you know, and then I gotta go through it and chop it up and piece it together and to make it try to get it to fit the melody and the rhythm of the song.
So Patrick, like when you do write that, then you're a poet, and you know, where are you like just sitting there having a cup of coffee? Or are you like watching people? Because see, that's where I'd come up with my lyrics, just watching people and making shit up.
So sometimes ideas just really begin as an off joke or something amongst the band at practice. And, just like Rock and Roll Thunderstorm was just a random idea that came up amongst all of us in a conversation. And then it'll just end up getting developed out. Sometimes a rhyme will go through my head and I jot it down real quick. And other times I might sit down and knock out a page and a half. And like Dan says, they're really not songs. They're more like long rhyming stories.
Yeah, didn't you call
And
it
then
whole lyrics for a dirty rag bag?
Well, that was probably the only early lyrics I wrote on
And
my
it's actually kind of
own.
funny.
Right, that I wrote on my own, kind of an early punk song.
Yeah.
I was pretty much influenced by punk in the 80s. A lot of my vinyl is punks from the 80s. But again, then I give it to Dan and Dan turns it into the song. I always give him and Dylan complete license to change it, work with it, make something happen. But then Dylan has probably actually wrote it more songs than I have at this point. And Dan, yeah.
I'd have to think about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Who are some of the producers that you guys have worked with? Like, do they bring it out of you? I know when I record, because I have my own studio that I built in my basement, I don't always have somebody except for like my wife and people, to tell me like, oh, maybe you should do this, or maybe you should accentuate this. Have you guys worked with some producers that kind of bring a little more out of you than even you came up with?
Yeah, so like the first song we recorded ever, we did ourselves, Must Have Been Drinking. And we did it in our practice place and then over here in Patrick's basement. And it was just, I don't want to say it was garbage, but it was not good. It was not good. So then we got a hold of Michael Beck and we've been working with him ever since. And he's just amazing in the studio. I mean, amazing musician all around, and just a cool ass guy. But I mean, just, he knows how to work a studio. He knows how to record. He knows what he's looking for, and he knows how to bring the best out of you. So I can't imagine at this point working with anybody else.
He is fantastic. I mean, we've had him on the show twice now. And with Michael Beck, he really is. He's a really nice guy, but he's very good at what he does. I mean, just the proof's in the pudding. I mean, listen to his albums with Escape the Hive and so. I mean, they sound phenomenal. And it's kind of a leading question because I guess I kind of knew the answer to the question, but that's what you do, right? Because I remember talking to Michael about that he had produced you guys. But I mean, that's what we got to do for the listener. We gotta hear you say it. If I say it, it's different. But tell me about the process of recording. I mean, you guys continue to write music. I love that. Patrick, you're kind of a poet. I mean, I think that the poets are really, and I don't think that's some singers tell me that's pretentious to call it that, but I call myself a poet too because I write poems all the time and they turn into music. Sometimes it doesn't come to fruition. Sometimes it does. Do a lot of your songs, do you bring your poem to the forefront or do you tailor it just to the song? Like, have you ever brought a poem out of just your, paper thoughts and into song, or do you write specifically for each song?
Just how I write, it usually is just for a song, but I don't want to say it doesn't come out of me as a song. Like Dan said, I'll bring Dan 2 pages of sonnets and stanzas just of how it came out to me. And so it's really not in song form. And then Dan takes it and really starts adding melody. He'll rearrange the words a little bit, adds new things to make it work better and bring the ideas together. Dylan and Kyle then come in and add riffs to it. And that'll, continue. So it really is a developmental process. I wouldn't want to take any credit for any one thing because it couldn't be a song without all of these guys' contributions.
It's your collaboration that you guys work together, and that's pretty badass. And I know, and I believe Cain, was it, and Shots Fired, in their album, you have a particular song you really like. Do you want to ask him where that came from?
I did. They mentioned it before, and I want to touch up on it again. So I like to listen to the people that we're going to interview, and I like to really dive into their music and listen to it like I would an album. So I like to start at the top, and I like to listen to it all the way through. And I can say, I mean, one that really stood out to me was Rock and Roll Thunderstorm. I thought it was not only by title, which I thought was a cool title, but I don't know. There's just something about it. It was that beginning, you know, with the forecast. It was probably what maybe that was even was that Kyle on the forecast at the beginning?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, that was. And that actually was Michael Beck's idea to do that.
Yeah, that turned out awesome, man. It was just a really cool opening and just a great song all around. I mean, like everything about it, I loved. I don't get me wrong, I loved your entire work. Like Shots Fired is a really good album, man. It entertained you, the words and everything. I loved it. You guys really knocked it out of the park on that. I have certain playlists that I curate on Spotify and different things. And I've added you guys to some playlists. You guys are in some favorites of mine as local rockers. So, I mean, that might not mean something to some, but I mean, for me as a fellow recording artist, anybody who listens to my song even once a day, I'm thankful for. So I'm sure you guys feel the same way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. This is as good a time as any for that magical moment, that great part of the show, a part that you also love, where we talk about the people, places, and things that keep this show rolling and partying all the time. So let's go ahead and take a nice little pause here and run that Elegant Sasquatch commercial. And then when we get back, and I want you to stick around for that commercial, when we get back, we have something important to tell you. Ooh, it's such a secret. I can't even hold it anymore. Let's go ahead and run that ad, and then we will get to it.
Dude, last night was a rager. I literally don't remember anything. What happened and why do our beards smell so bad?
It all started when a Sasquatch came out of the woods. He was doing keg stands. He DJ'd the party for a while. He even brought a live skunk to hang out. It was epic. It was getting late when Sasquatch's skunk friend decided to spray his pungent odor everywhere. Now our beards smell like rotten eggs and trash. Don't worry, friend.
Ah! Is that you, Sasquatch?
It's me, your boy Squatch. Have no fear, my nose-melting follicle friends. I have just what you're looking for to get the skunk stench out of those skunktified beards. The Elegant Sasquatch Beard Company has all sorts of balms, butters, oils, and washes to turn you from skunk to hunk in no time. Oh, bro, this is a trip. I feel like I'm dreaming, man. I'm gonna go back to bed. Well, pinch yourself now because you're not dreaming, my friend. I'm here to tell you about all the great things going on at the Elegant Sasquatch Beard Company.
Oh, tell me you have something to help us with these smelly beards.
Not only do I have something for that, but I have so much more. Head on over to elegantsasquatchco.etsy.com to check out the shop and look at all the different beard balms, butters, oils, face washes, and bundles that we have to offer. In addition to all of our great prices, if you mention the Scratch the Vinyl podcast with Scratch30 at checkout, you'll get an additional 30% off of your order. Oh man, this beard wash is amazing, and these oils smell so good I could drink it. Oh, you foolish little human. That's not what they're talking about with hair of the dog.
But seriously, Squatch, these scents are amazing. I already smell better.
Well, on that note, it's time to grab another beer and, oh, it looks like our friend the skunk just arrived. It's time to party. I call dibs on the first game of beer pong.
All right, let's move on to the local roundup. That's the super secret thing I had to tell you guys. Shh, it's a secret. Well, it's really not now. We're letting it out to you guys, so we don't want it to be a secret anymore. So here we go. Friday night at Gray's Keg. Let's start there. I don't really see anything for Friday, so Saturday night at 9:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. or beyond. They got Pop Goes Metal. They got a mixture between them and Naughty Bingo going on before that. It might even go on a little further, so they might get really naughty and really poppy metal. I think it's going to be awesome, actually. So get there. I've heard a lot of great things about that band and a lot of really good things about Naughty Bingo. So go be naughty with them. The Zoo Bar. I know you guys are recovering from Zoo Fest, and that's okay, but you can recover at the Zoo Bar with some of these great bands. So Friday, it looks like they have the All-Star City Blues Band with our friend Tim Budig. That's right, friend of the show, Tim Budig, and that awesome band. Go see them and say hi and do it for Scratch the Vinyl. Do it for us. 9 p.m. on that. Then Saturday at 5 p.m., they have Ken Valdez and Kevin Burt. The Brotherhood Tour is rolling through there for the early show. And then later on at 9 p.m., they have the Fatal Ease and special guests. So that's all I got for that. Check out more at the Zoo Bar at their page. All over. You can look at their website. You can figure it out for yourself. So I'm glad I could share that to you. Now let's go over to Duffy's. Duffy's has got, looks like Saturday night at 9:30 p.m., $5 cover. They've got Cowboy Bebop. So I don't know what the Cowboy Bebop is, but it sounds like an awesome time. So go check it out for yourself. Also Saturday night, the 1867 is celebrating 9 years, celebrating it in style like they always do with great bands. So 8 p.m., looks like Psycho 18 returns. Then they have the Surrogates and Fractal. So go celebrate 9 years with them. You could do the old bar crawl, as I say, and you can crawl from bar to bar and enjoy all that music. If you want to crawl a little further downtown, depending on where you're at. The Big Ten downtown. The Big Ten bar has on Friday night, 9 p.m., they have Simplicated. And then on Saturday night at 9 p.m., they have Midnight Special. Ooh, it's the Midnight Special. So go see them. Let's crawl a little further over to the Haymarket, or, well, the Rail Yard, I guess you call it now. For the old guys like me, it's always going to be the Haymarket. So there we go. So in the Rail Yard, looks like 9 to 1. On Friday night, they've got Lucas Minor Band. And then Saturday over there, I believe at the same time, they've got the Kyle Sailor Band. So all you country fans, you can go kick around and do all that great stuff that you do, line dancing and whatnot there. So there's a nice little local roundup for you. Now let's talk about our sponsors quick. We have Roots Music Shop, also Backtrack Records. Go get those records, everybody. Get them before I do. And I'm telling you, eventually I'll have them all. So really, it's just a race to beat me. If I could win all the money, I would go ahead and buy their whole store. So then we have American Senior Benefits. Ask for the man with the plan, Jason Dugash, and contact them for all your needs when it comes to that. We have Lil Bill's Barbecue. Don't forget about Lil Bill's Barbecue. You can get a hold of them on Facebook right now and get yourself some delicious bottles of this stuff. I'm basically drinking it. I'm bathing in it. I've now begun to soak my eyes in it, and I can see better. So go over to their page and order some of that Lil Bill's Barbecue from them. And then last but not least, we have Slang Tattoo. My good old buddy Bryce is the best in the biz, and he's also my personal tattoo artist. And if you don't like my tattoos, well, you're probably just looking at the ones that he didn't do. But the ones that he did do, you will be loving it. So go over there. Those are our sponsors. There's your local roundup. There, your weekend plans are solved, everybody. And now let's get back to it with our guests, Twisted Chrome.
So you guys, okay, we love vinyls here. We love even cassette tapes, 8-tracks. I mean, we've done it all. Do you guys all have like some kind of vinyl collection? And if so, which one? It's like picking out your favorite kid. You can't do that because you don't have a favorite kid per se. But do you actually have a favorite like vinyl if you do have them? Or what's your favorite way of listening to music? Because I know nowadays, I mean, you can just get on the internet and you can listen to anything you want, but it's not like a vinyl. You know what I mean? So if you want to start, Sticks, how about you?
What? That'd be you, Jeff. What's
Do you like
caught him off guard?
Do I have a favorite vinyl?
Yeah, or do you have a vinyl collection, or do you have,
I do. My very first vinyl, actually, that I bought myself was Van Halen, 1984. Yeah, and Skinner, and just some Kiss, Paul Stanley's solo album, and Well, the list just goes on. Some disco.
Ooh, I like disco. I really do like disco a lot. I went to a party one time and I was like, I never knew I liked disco so much. And
Yeah.
yeah, I love it. Yeah. So how about you, Dylan? What do you have?
Yeah, I mean, some people would think, like, especially with Kyle and I both being younger guys, that, we didn't grow up in the vinyl era, but I still think it's a really cool way to listen to music. And I have a small collection. It's definitely not very big, but I have a couple copies, one of which being an earlier pressing of Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. That's my favorite album of all time. But, and I'm definitely kind of what's considered like 80s glam, like 80s hair bands. That's where I live. So, I've got like Appetite for Destruction, Def Leppard, Pyromania, Skid Row, the debut album, and yeah, kind of a list of stuff like that. That's definitely my favorite stuff.
So safe to say you don't have like Wilson Phillips or anything.
Who?
Don't act like you don't know that.
You got Cher going too. Turn back time. Oh yeah, I can totally see it. So how about you, Dan?
I do have I have a vinyl collection. It's a lot smaller than it used to be. I used to have a lot of parties when I was younger, and people are not as honest as you would hope they would be. So I lost a lot of good stuff. I do have a bunch of vinyl from my father, who was a big Jimi Hendrix fan. So I have a bunch of Jimi Hendrix vinyl. I have a lot of Kiss. I probably have 4 or 5 copies of Kiss Alive. I don't know why. I just have them because it's Kiss, and and it's alive. And I got Van Halen. So funny story, real quick. We played at the casino in Grand Island a few weeks ago, and me and my girlfriend went into this antique shop, and they had just random vinyl in there, and I was thumbing through it all, and I'd gotten this idea in my head that I was going to start looking for really obscure 80s glam bands, like people that you don't hear about too much. And while I was thinking about that, I came across an album by Cain Roberts, who, if you don't know who Cain Roberts is, he was a guitar player for Alice Cooper in the 80s, and then he went and did some solo stuff. So I have one of his solo albums, so I bought it in an antique shop. It's just so random, but it's like, and I don't know, he's just this muscly looking dude, who's a guitar player, and his guitar on the front of it looks like a machine gun. It's just so obscure.
You have that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I also got David Lee Roth, Crazy from the Heat there.
Having different, the same album, but a whole bunch of them, even Cain, I think, can attest to this. It's okay to do that because we're going to scratch them. We're going to give maybe one away. We're probably going to maybe not lose one unless you're moving. But he has an end table, I think, with a couple of vinyls on it and uses as art. And I have some hanging up because they are very scratched. And but I mean, it is cool to have that. And someday you can give it to, the neighbor kid or your kid or some kid or, and that's really, I like that. I think that's pretty cool. And I like your.
And the cover art is what sells you anyway.
Yes. And remember this, like the CD or the tapes and all that, you can take it out and all the lyrics are on there. And then you have knows with all.
Like I have 2 or 3 copies too of Rock and Roll Over, only because the cover is so cool. It's the saw blade with the anime characters on it. It's
I mean, that's why I picked some of them up, just because of the cover. And I don't even know what it is. And I'm like, this is pretty cool, And if anything, I could just use it as artwork. But usually that's where you find some really cool stuff, though. Like Cain, when he goes to his estate sales and fights people off or, digging through trash or whatever. But he finds some pretty cool stuff. You could have to go with him sometime. How about you, Patrick?
Yeah, actually, I have a pretty substantial vinyl collection and still actively collect. Go to local music stores. I like original pressings. Some of them might not be because they get pricey, but again, in the 80s, I was really into punk, and so I still have a lot of my original pressings from there. Suicidal Tendencies, DRI, Dead Kennedy's early releases. But then again, I'm still constantly adding to it. I have blues, classic rock. I really couldn't say a favorite album because I really do try to go out and slowly build the entire discography.
Which one was your first one that you bought then? Your very first vinyl on your, like, that you attained?
The very first, I think I still have it. And it's actually, would have been, I think I got it for Christmas as a kid. And it would have been the Rock 80 album. It came out in 1980. So I hate to say that, but that probably is. DRI, Dead Kennedy's Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables.
Wow.
Suicidal Tendencies' first album. Those, as me going down to back in the day, would have been dirt cheap buying albums. That doesn't exist in Lincoln. It hasn't for a long time, but that probably would have been some of the first albums I went out and bought in junior high.
Yeah, I remember mine was junior high too, and I remember my first CD, all of those, and sometimes I just don't like to talk about it because I'm like, no, it wasn't Dirty Dancing, no. But yeah, so how about Weatherman Kyle? How about you?
All right. Yeah, I was kind of like Dylan, where I really didn't grow up with like a big vinyl collection. My dad had a great big CD collection, but he never really had any vinyl either. But I've since, gotten into a little vinyl. As far as the first one goes that I bought, of course, no surprise here, my favorite band's Boston. I think I bought Don't Look Back. That was my first one.
No way.
Pretty sure. And then, of all things, my collection has slowly grown. And actually, it wasn't too long ago that Patrick gifted me some. It was a Devo album that I'd never even heard of before. So the collection is slowly growing.
I had updated and got a original pressing that was a little better condition. So Kyle was appreciated.
Yeah.
You would hate my collection than Patrick. My collection is like, I will take anything. I'll dig it out of the trash. I'll do anything. I have some that are so water torn, like when you put them on, maybe one song will play. But I try to dig into Discogs and all that. I just I'd have to rob a few liquor stores to get some of those, man. But, what's interesting to me about this is you all are so you're so different. But it all makes sense when you listen to the music that you guys play, right? Like, I mean, you guys, you're not hitting us with like, yeah, Amy Grant really inspired me to start Twisted Chrome. However, I do in fact have, many Amy Grant albums in this collection, and I have no idea why. But they really listen to.
She's got a pretty voice.
She does have a pretty voice, but you can find something good in everything. Like I like to, and I don't know about you guys as musicians, I like to play along to, like, that's what taught me to be a guitar player and how to sing was I just listen to records and I try to play along like I'm with the band. It doesn't matter who it is. Obviously, I can't play alongside Beethoven or any of those guys.
Or the Muppet Christmas record. I have that one.
Yeah, or the Chipmunks Christmas. Yeah, for sure.
I have. Yeah, I mean that's how I learn.
No, Brooke, it doesn't shock me with that mind of yours. But you guys, like, when you guys first got into music, like, is that really what got you going? I mean, what was that big aha moment? Is what I'm after, I guess, with the question for you. And I don't care who answers first, but what was the aha moment that you wanted to be a musician? Like, what did you hear, and what made you want to be one?
So I think for me, it was, I remember when I was like 4 and watching TV with my mom, and we were watching Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Seriously.
Wow,
and for some reason, I remember it vividly. and seeing these guys on TV and not having any idea who it was, and just thinking that these were like Marvel superheroes, you know, like they're comic book characters. And you know, a few years later, I found out that it's an actual band, and I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. Becoming a musician was probably obviously Gene Simmons, because I started out as a bass player, and watching Gene be Gene, and then me being like, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. And then seeing somebody like, as I got into my teenage years, I got into thrash metal, and seeing somebody like Cliff Burton and going, okay, Gene made me want to play bass. Cliff makes me want to be good at it. Towards I think it was 9th grade when Appetite came out, and I was just floored. Like, you know, music was just non-existent after that. Like Guns N' Roses was it. Like that was the ultimate album for me at that point. So musically, like, I want to do this. I want to be this, you know. Axl Rose may have been a jerk off or whatever you want to call him, you know, but he was a freaking rock star, you know, and he lived that. And that's what I wanted.
You didn't do it just to get ladies? Because that's a lot of the answers that we get. I did it.
Of course.
Okay, there it is too.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, you know. Rock stars, it doesn't matter what you look like. The girls are going to flock to you. You look at like Mick Jagger or
Blackie Lawless.
I mean,
There we go.
Lemmy. Not an attractive dude, but he bagged a lot of girls. Let's be honest, you know.
Even Gene, when that makeup came off, man, you know, it was like, whoa, that's what he looks like. And he's had more chicks than anybody. I mean, he's had like I think he's for most chicks ever bagged in a single lifetime.
He's a 3,000 man.
Him and Prince, I didn't. That blows my mind. But no, I love Prince, but what the? He's like, he probably goes to my boob, you know, like. Anyways.
I think that's why there's called Kiss Condoms out. Not just Kiss
Thanks.
Casket, but Kiss Condoms.
Thanks for that.
I'd buy some, I guess.
I did buy some. I was a merchandise whore with Kiss. I admit it.
For some reason, I feel like they're like grape flavored or something. I don't know why they'd even be flavored.
I know jeans were red. I don't know if they were flavored, but I know they were red.
They were Gene flavored, you know, they were whatever.
That would be something he would do.
Oops. Oh, yeah. Randy's not here to be the voice of reason. Crap. I forgot.
He's just missing out.
So one thing we've found, and Brooke, you can attest to this. We've been going on this for quite a while. I mean, we'll be at 70 episodes in no time. And we found that every band has a tie to Kiss, right? Like everybody really got into music that we seem to talk to. It used to be like the answer was the Beatles or Nirvana for, you know, guys like my age and stuff. But honestly, everybody that we talk to, the band, they're always like, it's that Kiss brush. I love the thing that you said about when you saw them as a little kid, you thought they were like comic book characters. I mean, you thought they were bigger than life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they kind of are. I mean, now when I go back and I became a fan of them later in life, I really appreciate it. Because when I was younger, you know, I was into grunge and all that. I wanted hair metal to go away. All that when I was young and stupid, right? And everything was so aggressive, and I just thought everything sucked. And then I look back at Kiss and I go, oh, that sucks too. But then as I got older, I really sobered up and realized, like, man, all these guys had it figured out. Like, these guys were great for a reason. Gene is amazing for a reason, the whole band. So I love stories like that. But I still want to get it out of a couple more of you. I want to ask the drummer, I guess, because drummers are always so interesting anyways. Like, what really, what was the aha moment for you that you wanted to play drums? Because I find there's a certain lunacy to wanting to be a drummer.
I'll give you a name. Eric Carr, Kiss. Yeah. As soon as I saw, I know.
You thought it was going to be obscure, but here we go again.
As soon as I saw Kiss lick it up on Headbangers Ball, I just immediately fell in love with watching Eric Carr and do his solos and everything like that. So powerful. And it just drew me in, and I'm like, I want to do that. I'm going to do that. And I started and bought some drums, and the rest is history.
Oh, thank God for not saying it.
Well,
I thought history was going to come.
Well, it was in my mind, but I didn't want to be that guy.
the rest was history, everybody. I'll do it for you. I'm going to stick with that from here on out because it just seemed like he just proved the point, right? I thought maybe I'd get some obscure answer or, we get a lot of like the John Bonham thing and all sorts of different stuff. But it just proves again, everybody, that Kiss is king. All right. Kiss, they are what they say they are. When it comes to reading great rock bands, Kiss is king.
Where do you think I got the red lipstick? Who do I look like?
Now, Brooke, I could make a case that's every Rolling Stones logo too, though.
That too. I do have that. Yes, and also the horror picture show. We dressed up as them. Anything to do with Kiss's lips, red, all of it. I like it. Oh, and the band's pretty good too.
So let's just move down the line before we get to what you guys are doing. Let's ask Dylan. Dylan, what got you into music and why did you want to become a lead guitar player?
This is going to sound like the most millennial answer ever, but that's okay. I embrace it. For me, it was the video game Guitar Hero. So I played, God, I'm so old. I played Guitar Hero 3 right when it came out. And I remember Slash was on the cover. And I had never even heard of Guns N' Roses at that point or Slash or anybody like that. And in the game, I remember when you're progressing through the game, eventually you have a spot where you have to do a guitar battle against Slash. And I remember like hearing the track like as I was playing along to it. And I was just like, it was just crazy to me. The guitar tone, the note choice, the scale choice. I wasn't even a guitar player at that point. And it just blew me away. And then after you beat him, you encore with him and play Welcome to the Jungle. And that was the first time I had heard that song. And I heard that song and I immediately went up and looked up the music video. And I just saw like, they just looked so cool. It looked like rock stars, like hair all messed up. Slash has got the hat pulled down. You can't see his face and he's jamming. And you got all these people in the crowd like screaming and throwing their hands up. And I just watched, I was enthralled by Slash and his guitar playing and watching him just rip solos. And I was just like, oh my God, that is what I want to do with my life right there. And my parents had bought me a guitar when I was young, but I was never really that into it. But then that was the turning point when I went and grabbed that guitar and I was like, I'm going to learn to do that. And then that became like the first thing I wanted to learn was I wanted to learn how to play that intro, Sweet Child of Mine. And that was where it all started for me.
Slash tree.
That doesn't work quite as well.
You slashed it out of the park. Do you have his hat? You have to go get one of those.
I actually do have, I've dressed up as him for Halloween a few times, so I do have like a replica Slash hat. Yeah.
I could see you wearing that. That'd be pretty badass.
And I when I play on stage, I do have a top hat. It's not a Slash hat per se. It's like snake skin and leather and stuff. But it was mildly influenced, you could say, by that.
Well, right on. How about you, Kyle?
Yeah, for me, this is going to sound kind of like Dylan, pretty millennial-ish, but of all things, my first inspiration that I can definitively remember was watching a show. It was a children's show called The Wiggles, right?
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding you. And the guitar player was Murray in The Wiggles, and he had this red guitar. I just thought it looked awesome. And my first guitar was literally child-size Harmony same model, same color, the red and the black pick guard. And yeah, that was kind of the first definitive one that I remember. And then I eventually graduated, like the Beach Boys and the Beatles, and then eventually Boston. Cheap Trick. I grew up in Freeport, Illinois, which is just down the road from Rockford, the home of Cheap Trick. So obviously they were a big influence on me too. And Styx, REO Speedwagon, 38 Special, a whole bunch of other bands like that. Yeah, that was the Wiggles though was the initial inspiration of all things. And I will also add too that my grandpa also had kind of an influence on me too, because he could play a whole bunch of different instruments too, including the guitar. So I've had a few influences over the years.
That's pretty cool. I'm going to say that's the first. That is the first ever.
And maybe the only.
And maybe the only. Yeah. Well, I've heard Sesame Street, and they do all their songs. But Wiggles, wow. I remember them. My kids watched them quite often, and we'd change the channel. We'd go to maybe my brother. Yeah, like, hey guys, here's MTV. And I was kidding. That's pretty cool. That's funny as hell, though.
The Teletubbies inspired me to pick up my.
Now those guys are on all kinds of drugs. They have to be on all. And then I remember doing reading about them and seeing who they were today, and half of them are drug addicts, and the other one. No, I'm kidding. I don't know, but I would be. And but the Wiggles, yeah. But you need to have another band. Maybe I could have a band called the Giggles.
There you go.
And get the outfits and everything. And hey, you could be the lead singer for the whether you giggle or not.
That's pretty good.
Now you're reaching.
Yeah, I reach quite often. Pretty cool. Well, I know Cain. I know he kind of wants to. We want to know where you guys are playing, your next shows, where we can get a hold of you. So where's your next show at?
So we'll be in Waterloo, Nebraska this Saturday. It's a place called Lost to the River. It's right on the Elkhorn River. It's a private residence, but he's opened it to the public, and he's donating all the proceeds to, I wish I could remember the charity, but I can't remember it at this moment. But yeah, so we'll be there this Saturday from 7 to whenever we decide to stop playing, I think is the agreement. So
do you guys know when you guys will be back in Lincoln then too?
I believe it's August 22nd at the Frontier Harley Davidson, but I may be wrong on that.
August 21st, Frontier Harley Davidson.
Yeah, I've seen some bands have been playing. I know Hit and Miss got a hold of me, and I know they played there. What's the deal with the Harley Davidson thing? Are they just having a string of summer shows?
It's called Thursday Night Thunder.
We've actually never played there before, so I'm not really for sure on what they're doing. But yeah, they've done some outside stuff out there a few times. So I know Pasty Jenny's played there, and
Pasty Jenny. I forgot Pasty Jenny played there, but they've been doing that. Do you guys play any other like bike nights? You guys play Omaha or get around to that area too?
Oh, sure. We played at Therapy. We played the B-side in Council Bluffs. We actually opened up for Escape the Hive there at the B-side, which is a really cool venue. Tiffany and Chad. Mm-hmm. Really cool people.
Well, and I know that you guys we can post a lot of that stuff on Scratch the Vinyl. I know Cain, we're pretty good about putting those things on there. So if you ever have anything in the future, post it on ours. And where can we find you? Are you on Facebook? I know there's Spotify. I mean, are you guys just on all social platforms, or is there a specific or place that we can get a hold of you?
Yeah, I mean, we have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram page. We are on, I think, pretty much all the streaming platforms our music is.
Yeah, I mean, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, all the smaller ones like, Deezer and Tidal and all sorts of stuff like that. So, yeah, all the major ones, some of the minor ones.
We have, I know we have videos and stuff up on YouTube, and And yeah, I mean, you can find us anywhere. Just type in our name.
Hopefully when we're out and about, you know, I would love to come see you guys. I don't know, you guys, do you guys have merch? And I know you have CDs, I believe. I'd love to get a CD from you guys just to show it. And, you know, obviously I'll listen to it too. But yeah, we got to support guys like, you know, yourself and myself, guys who are hitting it hard and really just trying to get our music and our thoughts out there. I hope that this platform helps you guys. Like all good things, unfortunately, this thing has to come to an end. We're reaching the end of the show here. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. I'll definitely watch you on the weather from now on. You're my new favorite weather guy, Kyle.
I like to hear that.
For the rest of you guys, like I said, it's been a blast having you on. Hopefully we'll have you on again. And for all the listeners out there, you guys keep tuning in. We provided yet another example of why we are the only game in town when it comes to highlighting the best talent in this area and all around everybody. So tune in next week for another great episode of, and you know it's going to be great,
Scratch the Vinyl.